I just realized my microphone wasn't even on. I was speaking. Hey guys, what's up? Raven here. Uh, I've been like, yes, this isn't the format I was going to do with Halo Infinite, but I just wanted to do a little quick thing about Dragon Ball Daima. A lot of people are talking about it. It's a new thing with Dragon Ball after Super and that, and I just think that it's how can I say this? I know this is gonna anger a lot of Dragon Ball fans, but we all have opinions, and you can accept it or not accept it. Who cares at this point? I think Dragon Ball Daima is not going to be canon to Super because one of the things that is in the trailer. It says original story by Toriyama, which you can be like, oh, it's original and shit, it's new, it's not off any pre-existing shit. Yes, but that also does not mean it's going to be canon. Like, I think it's not going to be canon to Dragon Ball Super. It's kind of funny how a lot of people are calling this Dragon Ball GT 2. Like, it's just, I don't get that. It's like, no, this is nothing like GT. It won't be like GT. GT, it's like, I guess like the only thing that it's saying about GT is like, oh, they turn into kids and shit, and they have to go find Dragon Balls or some bullshit. Whereas GT, only Goku gets turned into a kid, and they have to, like, literally the first half of GT is going out finding the Dragon Balls so that they can save the Earth. Dragon Ball Daima is literally probably isn't going to be like that. Sure, they're probably going to be finding Dragon Balls to do something or whatever, but that's going to be it. It's nothing going to be like, oh, we're saving the Earth and shit, just like that. I don't think it's going to be canon. I just don't think it's going to be possible. Like, you might hate me on saying that, but that's what I think. It's not canon. It's like how a lot of people, like, what is it? The one thing I find funny is that a lot of people say, like, oh, well, GT isn't canon, but Super is. Yet, people also forget that Toriyama introduced the concept of time travel and parallel universes. So, technically, by a multiverse theory standpoint, GT is technically canon. Which is funny. I mean, like, when I say Dragon Ball Daima isn't going to be canon, sure, theoretically, by a multiverse theory, it technically can be canon if events tie up from, like, oh, Goku and that, this was after the Tournament of Power, this was after Superhero or something. Sure, if it has if it has those events in it, sure, it's technically canon after Super. But the thing is, like, why I think it's not going to be canon is because what are you going to do after Super? I mean, a lot of characters have really hit their peak and shit with Super and that. I mean, sure, you can't say, like, oh, well, we didn't get the Moro or the Granola arc and shit. Well, yes, but you still have the manga version of that. And the manga is, like, literally just going all the way up to the superhero movie now. So, what? I guess the other thing was just, oh, we need to turn all of them into kids and shit. And that kind of seems like a red flag, because it's like, okay, you had Dragon Ball, goofy sort of kids, 80s kids comedy, There's some adult jokes there as well, Dragon Ball Z, let's see, it was a bit more graphic in that. And then, like, what? You have Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I don't even think is really canon. I mean, sure, you can. Oh, they took out all the filler and shit, so therefore it's canon. It's like you're basically shortening Dragon Ball Z. Therefore, why not just have Dragon Ball Z as canon? Like, forget all the filler shit. I mean, gag stuff literally exists within the Dragon Ball universe. If Super is anything to go by, all the filler gag shit is literally canon. Like, Arale-chan, or Arale, whatever fuck, is literally a gag character that exists within the Dragon Ball universe. Like, you can't say, like, but, like, the filler and shit is just, it's filler, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Goku and Super Saiyan got hurt by a rock, yet can take a punch from Cell. Okay, and your point is, that was just a gag. Like, sure, I'm pretty sure Krillin doesn't have gag powers like Arale, but it's a gag, bro. Like, it's a joke. You're not meant to take it seriously. But sure, you can have your Dragon Ball Z Kai as canon shit. Whatevs, it's basically the same shit to me at this point. Then we have Dragon Ball GT, which is a bit mature. It's as mature as Dragon Ball Z. OG Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball Z Kai, like other people want. It has mature themes and shit, But then you get to Dragon Ball Super, which kind of tones down the maturity in that. I mean, a lot of people compare Z Goku to Super Goku, where Z Goku is basically... Z Goku is just... he's a martial arts master. He knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. He has a job and shit. Sure, Super Goku had a job. Okay, but, like, Super Goku doesn't really show any maturity outside of having a job and fighting. Z Goku showed a lot of stuff, even in early Z. I don't really get the point where it's like, it's like, okay, comparing Z Goku and Super Goku, okay, yeah, there are a lot of different things and shit. Here's one. GT Goku, right? This is a lot of things that people say. GT Goku has the body of a child, but the mind of an adult, which is technically true. Only Goku's mental state did not change. He was still his wise, old, laid-back self. Like, Goku at that point was like 50 or 60 years old when training Oob. And then Super Goku is like, a kiss? What is that? What is this, Vegeta? What, can you explain it? And it's like, what did you do to Goku? What did you do? Why did you change him? It's like, you don't need to dumb down the main characters so that kids can understand them. Like, I grew up with Z Goku, right? I grew up with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, and I knew that, like, what maturity in that was, even at a young age. Sure, you might be like, oh, but that's a fucking lie, isn't it? No, I just understood it, like, because it teaches you in a way that you can understand. Like, sure, it's blatantly obvious or whatever, but, I mean, like, literally, how it's like, okay, GT Goku goes full on grade 8 mode and starts destroying shit. Pan reminds him that, what makes him strong is his family. And that's how Goku ascends to Super Saiyan 4, basically. Super Goku is just like, oh, I got the shit kicked out of me. Hold up, let me fight this person again and then fucking win. And it's like, what? That doesn't teach you anything. Sure, you don't always need to teach kids something, like a message and that, but there's always got to be some kind of continuity to it. I mean, it would be funny if, like, in Dragon Ball Daima, like, this Goku was more mature than Super Goku. Like, that shit would be funny. I would actually watch that. Though, Goku and Vegeta should, like, a lot of everyone, like, everyone else says, sure, yes, they should have their tails back. Though, it shouldn't be instantaneous, like, they shouldn't just get turned into kids and then, boom, their tails are back. GT Goku didn't start growing his tail until midway through the Baby Saga. This was, like, in the middle GT, by the way. Like, and that was only, like, a bit. Like, it started pushing out a little bit. And then, during that, like, Goku had to get Elder Kai to fully pull out his tail with a big pair of fucking, like, tweezers, basically. Not even tweezers, like, big pliers or whatever. You know. So, yes, I should think, yes, they should have tails, but I don't think they should just instantly, like, have it. Like, the only thing I really want, like, I really just want, like, continuity, right? I want, like, oh, you know, this is after Z or something. Or whatever. Like, I know people are like, oh, you can't have it after Z. It's got to be after Super. Okay, well, that still doesn't make sense either. Because that means you gave Goku and Vegeta their strongest forms. Mind you, if the timeline in the anime is the same as the manga, that means, technically, Goku and Vegeta already basically, not really mastered. Goku had perfected Ultra Instinct, right? Not as in, like, oh, you know, he mastered it, that means he's strong. No, Goku, like, perfected his own version of Ultra Instinct. Vegeta kind of sort of perfected his Ultra Ego state. I guess technically yes and no at the same time. You know, it's a real 50-50 on Vegeta's end. But that would mean we already have Black Frieza and shit. And then we have the movie, which is Gohan and Piccolo getting their forms, which is the strongest forms they have, which is around on par or above Goku, Vegeta, Broly, etc. Who the fuck cares at this point, pal? That was a bullshit. Dragon Ball Z abridged, anyway. But yeah, like, that means if this takes place after Super, you gave Goku and company their, like, highest powers so far, and then you just rip it away for them. Also, I gotta point out is that they are not children. Right, I know a lot of people will be like, but, like, you know, Goku's the only one who turns into a kid, basically. Like, you look at his outfit, you look at the way he's drawn, it's basically Kid Goku. But with Vegeta and that and the others, they literally look the same as their adult selves. It's literally like, what was it? In Fighter Z, right? When you go into the lobby, you have your little lobby character, which is basically a chibi character. You know, small body and a big head and that. That is what those characters are. They are not kids. They are chibi characters, basically. Like, can you make, like, why does Android 18 look the same? Like, sure, you can take the mustache and whatever off Master Roshi and shit, but all the others look the same. Like, Toriyama, you couldn't have come up with, like, designs such a... We've seen Kid Vegeta as well. In both Z, Super, and in the Broly movie. Like, there's basically, actually, two of those iterations remain consistent, actually. Wait, hold up. I'm probably thinking of... No, it was the Beerus Saga. Yeah, that's what it was. So we've seen Kid Vegeta, because he had, like, the little front hair bit, right? When he was a child. And then in the Broly movie, they kind of retconned it, so he always had his same styled hair. But sure, we've seen Kid Vegeta, we've even seen Kid Raditz. Like, but in Dragon Ball Daima, it's literally just small Vegeta. Like, you can't fucking tell me that's Kid Vegeta. It's small Vegeta. dude is fresh out of Oompa Loompa school, bro. You can't tell me that's Kid Vegeta. They ain't shit. What is that? What's next? They fight Zamasu or Jiren or whatever, and they've been turned to kids. Like, everyone is the same size as, what's it called? Also, another thing to mention is that, like, literally we had, like, a lot of people just kept, like, joking on Trunks and Goten about how they never aged in Super. And finally, when we finally had them as, like, teenagers, mind you, they were, like, actual teenagers in, like, in the manga and that. And in Superhero, they were in their teen years, maybe, I think, early 20s, near early 20s? I think, late teens, early 20s. And then in Dragon Ball Daima, they literally turned into toddlers. Like, can you fucking not? Like, we've waited so long for Goten and Trunks to just come back to, like, being teens again. Like, the last time we ever saw them as teens was in GT. And at the end, in the End of Z episode. Like, and then All Out Super, which takes place over, like, what, 3 years or some shit or whatever. They don't grow an inch. I mean, sure, there's a throwaway line with Gohan where he's like Piccolo's like, oh, is that Goten and Trunks? Man, they look different. And Gohan's like, yeah, when we hit a certain age, we just have a huge growth spurt. And it's like, okay, I guess I can work with that. I mean, though it's kind of stupid because Gohan, like, what, did Gohan look the same for, like, 5 years until he got to, like, 17 or something? Like, 7 years later, it's like, oh no, wait, hold on. So in Z, there's between the Cell Saga and the Babidi Saga, or, you know, early Buu Saga, there's a 7-year time skip, right? So we go from 11-year-old Gohan. Yes, he's 11 years old, he's not actually a teenager. And then we go to Gohan, who's around 17 years old, or 18, depending on when his birthday and shit is. Like, you can't really tell me that Gohan looked the same for, like, 5 years, but when he turned 16 or 17, he just shot up into the, like, teenager we saw him in the Majin Buu saga. Like, you can't say that. You can't say, but, like, when we reach a certain age, we just have a growth spurt. And it's like, that's no, we don't even see Gohan during, like, that time skip. You can't really count the BoJack movie because, you know, that's not canon, and that takes place, like, somehow after the Cell Saga as well, because he's still, like, I guess he's like a year older, but he still looks the same. You can't really say that, like, we just have a growth spurt. No, bro, no, nope, It's kind of dumb. But I think that's just mainly my thoughts and arguments on Dragon Ball Daima. Like, can we get Toriyama to fix up a few of the designs? Because, like, everyone just looks like a chibi character except for Goku. Goku kind of, like, we know what Kid Goku looked like, because we've seen him in Dragon Ball. We've seen him I can't remember if we've seen him in Dragon Ball Z. We've seen him in I can't speak. We've seen Kid Goku in Dragon Ball Super Broly. We've seen him in GT, and now we're seeing him again in Dragon Ball Daima, which, you know, is cool and all. But Goku is literally the only one who looks like a child. I don't know what it is, like, I do like Goku's, like, style has kind of changed, like, kind of. I mean, his clothes are, like, a lighter blue, and his shoes are a bit different. But you still gave him the orange gi. Like, why can't he go back to, like, the purple and red gi in OG Dragon Ball? Like, that would be cool. But I guess, you know, it's Goku, so, Anyway, those are my thoughts and rants about Dragon Ball Daima. So if you enjoyed this little thing, I'll be happy to do more Dragon Ball stuff. You know. So if you enjoyed, cool. I just have a picture in the background just because I can. But yeah, if you have any arguments or whatever against it, you can comment. I don't really care. Just my thoughts on Dragon Ball Daima. Goodbye.